Good morning. I wanted to show you guys today the difference in applying your highlight, your contour, your brightener with your fingers, which is the cheetah hack where you just put the little dots on, and actually using your 3D brush to apply your makeup and then blend it in. So first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my brush. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my my lightest color, which is my brightener, and I'm going to dip my brush, just tap my brush in there. Go ahead and start applying it. Blending as I'm going, just tap, tap, tap. This is just another technique for applying Seint. Once you've been using Seint for a while and you're comfortable with placement, this is actually a really good technique for making sure everything's blended in really well. So, gently applying, gently tapping. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my all over now. So I'm going to do this darker one right here. Same brush, didn't even need to clean my brush. Just get enough to start applying. And remember, I'm going to come back in with my perfector sponge when I'm done. And if there's any areas that I need to clean up, I'll be able to do that then. I'm also making sure that I don't put any in the areas where I'm going to do the contour and the cheek color. You really end up using less product when you apply with the brush. And that's one of the reasons why the brush is so important. So when you're ordering your basic kit, which is your lightest color, which is your highlight, then your brightener or your foundation, and then your contour. And contour is really important because contour is what does the magic to slim your face down and kind of define your features. And then when you order a lip and cheek color, you always get a $10 credit for one of the palettes, just the basic palette, and that's enough to fit your 4 colors in, just your basic palette. You always get a $10 credit. So please, please, please make sure that you are taking advantage of that $10 credit, because the basic palette will only cost you $5 with that $10 credit. And then of course the brush, and the brush is so super important, because that's, you're not going to be able to blend your your cream makeup without using the brush. So it's super important to do that. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to use my perfector sponge just to kind of make sure that I've got everything blended. And then I'm going to go in. Now, if I had decided to stop here and not do any contour, this is what I would look like. Okay? My red areas are covered. My under eyes are covered, but I don't have the defined cheekbones, and I don't have the slimming of the face that I do when I apply contour. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to apply contour. If you only order the 3D brush, you can apply contour with your fingers, would be my recommendation. And if you do order a brush for contour, I would recommend the detail brush, which is what I used yesterday. And that's where I did a line with that. But you're perfectly, you're welcome to use your fingers. So this is my contour. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the rainbow, a little rainbow arc. I still have to blend it in with the brush. The brush is so super important. I cannot stress enough how important the brush is, because with this cream makeup, you're not going to be able to blend the way it's meant to be blended with your fingers. I'll go ahead and show you. So this is me blending with my fingers, and it's going in some, but it's not going where it needs to go. Let me show you the difference with the brush. I mean, this brush is specifically designed for this task. All of our brushes can be used for different jobs, but this one specifically designed for doing that blending. So I do have a ring light today. I'm trying to get a little bit of a different light source for you guys to see, since we are going into the time of year where there's not as much daylight, especially in the morning. So I wanted to make sure that hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit of a difference there. I was not happy with how that applied by just doing my fingers there, so I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna do some more and do it the right way. Remember, I take it up into my hairline because we don't want a line. You want a smooth, blended look. I'm gonna go ahead and take my perfector sponge and kind of finish that off a little. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my, my contour on my cheeks. So you start with the top of your ear and you don't come past your eye, the corner of your eye. I'm gonna go ahead and do my line. Same with this side, top of the ear, corner of the eye. And I've been doing it enough that I kind of know where my cheekbone is already. But when you're first learning, you can definitely do the trick where you take a thin brush, lay it down, do your line, and draw over your line, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my jawline now. And remember, you don't want it to go under your jawline. You want it just above your jawline. And the secret with contour is contour gives you shadows, and the shadows are what gives you the slimming look. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in now. Just tap, tap, tap. Okay, see how that blended? I'm gonna do this side now, and then I'll show you the other side with just trying to do it with my fingers. And remember, the jawline is the only time that I actually go down. Everything else is an upward motion. Okay? So now I'm going to attempt to blend this in with my fingers. And you can see it's just not moving the way that the brush moves it. It's just not blending. So I'm gonna go back in with my brush. Okay. I'm gonna take my perfector sponge, which is, I did wet it. It's not soaked, but it is damp. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna do my lip and cheek, and let's go with a little bit darker look today. I'm gonna do nude. And nude is a color that a lot of you get matched to as a beginning color. It works really well on everybody, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of people get matched to that to begin with. So yeah, here's my nude. So this is nude. I'm gonna go ahead and do my my cheeks and my lips with nude, and then I like to go over any matte lip color. I personally like to go over with a glossy color. And I'm going to follow up with, let me find it. I have so many palettes here. There you go. Right here. This is Summer Love. You see, it's a very natural look. I can decide to go back in and do a little more gloss over it in a lighter color like Gloss Sienna, which is one of my favorites. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this for now. So now, the all-important brush. Gently tap, gently, gently tap. Okay, now I'm going to blend this in with my fingers. And you can see it's just not doing anything. It's just not doing anything. Okay, I'm going to fix that with my brush. Take Perfector sponge, kind of go over it a little more. Okay. Now, I've seen some areas that for me personally, I feel like I need to put a little bit more of my my highlight on. So I'm going to go back in this area right here and just add a little bit more of that color back in, because I kind of feel like right now the blush kind of, the cheek color kind of blended in there. So, and that's another beautiful thing about the cream makeup. If you see something that you're like, that's just not quite right, you can go in and fix it. It's really very simple to do. I've never been able to do this with any other makeup that I've ever used. I've just been so happy with Seint and how it's buildable. So, all right, so let's add a little bit of eyes. What am I gonna do for eyes today? Oh, I mentioned Atlantic to somebody last night. Do you guys remember this one, Atlantic? We're gonna do a look with that. So, let's see. I think I'm gonna start out with, yeah, okay. I'm gonna start out with this as my base, right here. Okay. I will list all the colors that I used in the comments. Okay. I'm going to take my drift. I like to do drift on the inner part right in here. And this is drift. It's really pretty. I like to do drift in there. So for a lot of you, I probably could just stop right here and be perfectly happy. But I want to add a little touch of color. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get that Atlantic. I'm gonna use the small end, my eyeshadow brush. And I'm gonna just kind of go along the line here. Get a little more, because I really like the color. And I want you to be able to see the color. It's very subtle. I was so surprised. First time I used it, I thought, I'm not ever gonna wear green, but I really like it. Go back a little more over here. Okay. Take my perfector sponge and kind of clean up a little. Do a little mascara over that. Okay. I think I'm done, except I said I was gonna go back in with one of my favorite lighter colors. This is La Sienna. It's just, I just think that's so pretty. I'm gonna add some La Sienna to my cheeks too, because I just feel like it needs a little brighter. It needs just a little brighter, so. And then I think I'm gonna finish off with my bronzer. My favorite bronzer is Tan Lines. It's our lightest bronzer that we have. And it just kind of adds a little glow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my Tan Lines. It's right here. Just gently, and it's gonna go kind of over the areas where I've already put the contour. But it's different from contour because contour is a shadow. Contour adds shadows. And this is warm, and it really kind of adds a glow. And this is one of my favorite brushes. This is the brush when you order the bronzer bundle, which is the brush and a bronzing tin. You actually are getting a better deal because then the brush is discounted. So anytime you see a bundle or a collection, something like that, it's really more of a bang for your buck. So I always take advantage of those, especially when I'm first starting out with my, trying to build up my brush collection, because you get a better deal. So, okay, I think that I am done. Oh, you know what? I realized I did not put any contour on my nose. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of bronzer that's left over on my nose. Okay, I think I'm done. So again, brush, super important. I showed you the difference between using a brush and trying to use your fingers. With this cream makeup, you absolutely really have to have a brush. This brush specifically, because that's exactly what it was designed for. You just will not get the same effect. You will not be as happy with your Seint makeup if you do not get the brush. Always remember, you do get a $10 palette or $10 credit for your palette whenever you order 4 of the large tins. The more tins you order, the higher, the more of a credit you get. So this is actually for 8, but if you get just the 4, you get a $10 credit. So this palette would only cost you $5. So it's a really great deal. So take advantage of all your bundles, take advantage of all your credits that you get, and I guarantee you'll be happier with your Seint if you do that. Thank you, ladies.